let's look at click tracks. Now, click tracks are very important when we're recording. It makes people play in time with the internal clock of the software, and that for editing makes life much easier, and I'll show you some examples of that later on. So click track in Pro Tools is very simple. It's a predetermined thing. We're in our track menu, we go right down the bottom, and we've already got click tracks made up for us. Now you see it comes up in my edit screen here as a mini display, so I'm just going to, well, micro, no, it's mini. We'll just make that medium so you can see what I'm doing with this. Okay, so you see it's green, so it's an auxiliary track. It's automatically named click, which is quite good. Not automatically named audio track or anything like that. And it automatically has the click instrument, if you like, strapped over it. I'll come back to that later on. Now the click track directly relates to this, the meter of our song. By default it will be 4/4, but we can change the meter. If I just get rid of that, we can double click on the meter here and we get different meter options here. So we can go 4/4, 3/4, or we can go out of the compound time, so you can have any time signature that you actually want. I'll click and cancel that just now. I'll show you how we get into that another way in a second. So if we hit play just now, we can hear the bog standard Pro Tools click track. Okay, that's not part of a metronome function or anything like that. It has to be a separate track. Okay, now that's perfectly good, and drummers, guitarists will play along to that as happy as Larry until the cows come home. But we can adapt it, we can change it. Now the thing is, it won't change in certain ways when we change the meter. I'm just going to open up the other tempo operations window here, time operations, sorry. So we go to the event menu, select time operations and time operations window, and we get all this meter information. Now this is really important because as we can see, we're set to 4/4 just now, and the click is set to a crotchet. So at the moment we're getting one click on each crotchet beat of the bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Okay. If we change it to 3/4, very quickly and easily by going new meter 3/4 like that and hitting apply, you'll see everything's changed here, and it's changed to 3/4. So now when we hit the playback, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's all very well and good. And even if we went to something complex like 5/4, like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. You get the idea. Now the problem occurs when we go to a compound time, and I'll show you what happens. So we hit 6, 8 and click on apply. Okay, so now we have the meter of 6, 8, but the problem is that the click playback is still going to be clicking in a crotchet. Now I'll show you what this means. If I hit play just now, still sounds like 3/4 because it's going 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, and rather than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so here's the problem. I have an issue with Pro Tools because it doesn't do this automatically, whether every other piece of software does. Anyway, the click here we have to turn into a dotted crotchet, and if you don't know about that, you can find yourself in all sorts of trouble. So click and apply in that, and now listen to it. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Beautiful. Okay, that's exactly what we want. If you wanted the internal quavers of that, then we just change the click value to 1/8. Remove the dotted value. Okay, now if we hit apply, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see? But again, it's one of those things, if you don't know about it, it can spend you a long time trying to fix it. Now, if you don't like the sounds that the click track is giving you, if you click on the click instrument, then we get the dialog box for that. Now at the moment it's in what's called follow meter mode. Okay, so it just does this and this. Okay, but we can change that. If, for example, I'm just going to go back to 4/4 to make this a little bit easier. 4/4 and go back to a crotchet, and it's not dotted, so click on apply. So there we go. So within this instrument we can now change the sound. So if I want to change the sound, I can go to classic click here, and let's change it to, I don't know, something else. A wee bell. What about a cowbell? Electric bell. I wonder what that sounds like. Okay, so it's a very, very definitive sound on the first beat of the bar now. Okay, and then underneath that, instead of classic click, we could have a cowbell. So your drummers and your musicians might prefer to sync along to something like that. Now they might say, well, actually I could, for this song, it's particularly tricky, so maybe you want quavers within it. Now at the moment we can't click anywhere here. See, I'm trying to click here and it's not actually letting me do that because follow meter is on. If I undo follow meter like that, I can now change these values. So if I change the first click to a semibreve and then change the secondary click to quavers, sorry, then I get this. We could have the first beat on minim, so it would be on beat 1 and beat 3. And we can pretty much adapt everything we want around that. So you could have the secondary cowbell could be semiquavers. Getting a bit confusing, I think. The other thing we can do is we can turn up or down either the initial click, okay, or turn that right down. Or we could turn the subsequent clicks up. Okay, so we can adjust the volume of the downbeat and the additional clicks thereafter. That's basically it. Once you've learnt those basics, you can mess around with your click track until your heart's content.